Before we get into the video, I want to talk to you guys about the OneFootball app, because for me, it's the best football app there is on the planet. It's great for player statistics, team news, transfer news, and league tables. On top of that, if you are an app user in the UK or in Ireland, you get match highlights for La Liga, Liga Portugal, and DFB Pokal. On top of that, you get full coverage of the Indian Super League and also Serie A, which means Indian Super League match coverage and highlights, and also Serie A highlights, and also once a week, you get a game which you can watch on the app literally for free from the Serie A. This week it is Atalanta versus Sassuolo, and if you watch my Scouting for United series, you'll know that there's a player I've got an eye on in that game. If you want to watch it, make sure to use the link in the description down below. Like I said, you get loads of great stuff and it is all free. Use the link in the description down below to download the OneFootball app. Hey guys, welcome back to the AJ Analysis channel. I hope you're all well and good, been having a good week. Today we are back talking about Manchester United. But actually before that, there is an aeroplane going over, so apologies if you can hear that. Not much I can do about it, I'm not the pilot. But yeah, today we are talking about Christian Eriksen, because he was apart from Casemiro, he was the main midfielder that Manchester United signed, in the summer. Now all summer we were talking about United's need for a midfielder, and all the talk was about Frenkie de Jong coming into the club. That was the player that Ten Hag wanted, we know that, because he wanted a player that was able to drop deep and progress the ball from there. Frenkie de Jong didn't come in, of course. Instead he sits on the bench at Barcelona, but Christian Eriksen did come in. Now, I think when he first joined the club, we thought he was going to play a bit of a rotation role, perhaps for Bruno Fernandes as an attacking midfielder, kind of come in against the smaller teams, or perhaps in the Europa League. That has not been the case. Because of United's inability to sign Frenkie de Jong, Ten Hag has turned Eriksen into a deep-lying ball progressor, who is also able to get forward, and as a result he is one of Manchester United's most important players. It's the reason he starts every game. We've seen the odd game where he hasn't started, and quickly he's been introduced, because the likes of Fred just haven't been able to produce the same quality. So I want to talk about why Christian Eriksen is so important to Erik Ten Hag and the way that Manchester United play. And in terms of where he is playing, he is quite clearly the left-sided central midfielder, who often drops quite deep in the build-up, but then also once United have sustained an attack and have built the ball into the final third, he is then given an attacking licence, the ability to get forward. And that comes with McTominay alongside him, often sitting quite deep, although I wouldn't be at all surprised if Casemiro comes into the side soon. But now it's time to talk about what Eriksen brings. And I think above everything, we can talk about tactical role and things like that. I think above everything, what Eriksen brings is an intelligence and just an ability as a footballer that none of these other Manchester United midfielders have. Particularly McTominay and Fred. They do not have the intelligence that Eriksen has. Eriksen is arguably one of United's most intelligent players. He's also one of their best technical players. He waits the pass the best. He reads the game very well in possession. He's always aware of what is around him, and it just makes him an excellent footballer. In terms of how tactically he helps the side, he has a few different roles, because we know that United can build possession in a few different shapes. So one shape that United actually build possession in is a bit of a 3-1 shape, where McTominay or Casemiro will sit just in front of the centre-backs. The centre-backs will split like this, of course the full-backs move further forward, and Eriksen drops into a left-sided central midfield spot. Now, if you remember during the summer, this is the exact role I was saying Frenkie de Jong could play, and it really is highlighted by Eriksen's... it really highlights that Eriksen is doing this when we look at his heat map. We can quite clearly see that he is dropping to this left-hand side. This area here, we can see literally his heat map. That is one of the zones of what he dominates a lot. And from here, it's his ability to progress the ball, which is very important. He is one of the few United players that has the ability to move the ball forward through the lines. Now, again, to compare to other United players, because we're talking about Eriksen's importance, not just his quality, if you put Fred in this position, Fred does not want to play the ball forward through the lines, or he might want to, but he's not very capable of it. He often goes sideways. That's been a problem at United for several years now. They just can't progress the ball forward. Eriksen is massively addressing that. In this build-up phase, Eriksen is United's best ball progressor, or certainly one of. And in terms of, if we look at the stats, in terms of touches, only Lisandro Martinez and Dalot average more touches per 90 minutes, which shows just how involved Eriksen is. He's getting more touches than the left back, he's getting more touches than Varane, he's getting more touches than Bruno Fernandes, the forward players. Eriksen is the key. Eriksen really is key to moving the ball forward, and he also does it in other systems as well. I am just going to quickly interrupt because we do have another sponsor for today's video, and that is jerseyfifa.com.
the website you need to head to right away to get yourself the latest and greatest football shirts, all at an extremely affordable price. The link will be in the description below, so head there right away to get yourself a great shirt, again at a great price. Now back to the video.
Occasionally United builds possession in more of a 2-3 shape like this. Now Eriksen's role in this shape is a little bit deeper, because he isn't necessarily the main progressor in this shape. See, in this shape Eriksen often takes up a slightly higher attacking position, especially when Malacia is in the side. Eriksen will move slightly further forward, and then Malacia and Dalot come inside, and now they are the players that are responsible for progressing the ball. However, Eriksen does still have an important role, because he still has this ability to drop deep, get the ball, and again it is all about his forward passing. It is all about his forward passing. In the middle third, his ability to progress the ball is so key to this United side, and it's also just his ability to dictate the play with the tempo, again those touches, and also spread the play with his long passing. He really is a tempo setter for United in the midfield, but I can't say it enough. It's his forward passing which is the most important, and we've seen it in certain goals this season, particularly this one against Arsenal. Look where he is here, right? Bruno Fernandes is just behind me. If this was Fred in the team, I assure you, this pass would have gone sideways. I am so confident that this goal doesn't happen with Fred in the team, because he would have played it sideways, because he just doesn't have the vision or the quality to pull this pass off. Now, that's not me trying to discredit Fred, he's a good player, but this is not what he has in his locker. Eriksen has something very different. He takes out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Arsenal players with one pass into Bruno Fernandes. We can now see 6 Arsenal players. There might even be a 7th down here somewhere. Completely out of the game, and it's because of one pass from Christian Eriksen. That is a quality that no other Manchester United midfielder brings. Now, he may not be a midfield general in the sense that he charges about, wins a lot of tackles, constantly shouting. But Eriksen is the general of this midfield. He is in charge of this midfield. It's what he does on the ball. He really does his talking with his feet. So good on the ball. And then as United kind of move forward, progress to the final third and have more sustained attacks, he then has a role to play in the attack as well. The wingers often hold quite a wide position. The fullbacks again are reasonably tucked in like this. Obviously the centre-back step higher. And Eriksen is given the licence to push forward into this kind of left half space here alongside Bruno Fernandes. Now, you can argue this is a positive and a negative because it has led to United becoming quite left side heavy. We can see these two players, Eriksen and Fernandes, in the half space, compared to none on the other side on the right, but it doesn't matter too much in certain games because it is working. Eriksen is creating and contributing in the final third of the pitch, and again we have seen that in a goal as well. And cast your minds back to the game against Liverpool, where Eriksen is pushed up into his left half space that we were just talking about. Bruno Fernandes is just here with him, Alanga's going to play the ball into Eriksen. Eriksen gives it back, and again, it's that weight of pass. It's just a technical quality that Eriksen possesses, which other players don't possess. Bruno Fernandes is a good creative player. I don't necessarily think he has the weight of pass in this sort of situation. And again, Fred and McTominay, realistically, it's not their strength. It's not the pass that they play. Eriksen does, and that is why he is so important. He is so key to this team for so many different reasons. Whether it's dropping deep to progress the ball through the thirds on the left side of centre mid like we can see here, almost inside with the centre back actually at times, whether it's a 2-3 shape dropping in where Malacia might be, or whether it's getting forward and creating in the final third. Eriksen just brings a creative and a technical ability which United do not have otherwise. And importantly, he also does the hard work off the ball, because United have seen that sort of player before in Paul Pogba, but it didn't quite work for one reason or another. Eriksen is very happy to go this way and do the defending. In terms of ground covered per 90, he is right up there in Manchester United's top 3 players pretty much every game. It's normally Bruno Fernandes, Eriksen, and then 9 times out of 10 it's McTominay or Casemiro as well. It's created quite a hard-working midfield, and that is something that Eriksen has always had to his game, and I think it's something that has perhaps always been a little bit underappreciated about him. At previous clubs, I don't think people have recognised the work that he does for his team. Now, am I saying he is defensively sound? Not by any means. He makes mistakes. There are situations where he doesn't track his man, we've spoken about it recently, but still, at least he is hard-working. We know he's playing out of position. This isn't where he wants to play. We know he prefers to be more of an attacking midfielder, or sometimes even a wide playmaker. But he's been asked to play this role of a deep progressor, dropping deep, helping the team move the ball forward, and he's doing it excellent. excellently so. He's then helping the team create in the final third with 1-2s in and around the box. He's having several shots per game as well, he's contributing in that aspect. He's on set pieces, which, to be fair, I think could improve. But still, United have lacked a set piece taker recently, so that's an upgrade as well. And then off the ball, he does work hard defensively. Like I said, there are situations where he gets caught out, and I think United need to work on that, and Eriksen needs to work on that. But for a player that was bought in for free, to be perhaps a squad player, he has been absolutely brilliant. And right now, he is one of Manchester United's and Erik Ten Hag's most important players. The second he isn't on the pitch, United are not the same beast. They are not the same animal. They're not the same team. They do not work the same without Christian Eriksen. And that's a huge credit to him as a player to be able to adapt to that. This is now the 5th different club that he's moved to and adapted to a new system, a new setting, a new role for him in the team, and done it brilliantly and become one of the most important players. Such credit is deserved. Because he's absolutely brilliant. And I love watching him. Hopefully it continues. But yeah, that's all I've got to say on the matter. So that's the end of the video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. How good has Eriksen been this season? How good can he be for the rest of the season? Are you worried about his minutes, the lack of rotation? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video. And as always, I will see you in the next one.